Republican presidential candidates are making final preparations for tonight's big debate in Cleveland. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is among the 10 candidates who are qualified for the primetime debate. His poll numbers and fundraising suffered after Donald Trump entered the race. The senator is with us from Cleveland this morning. Senator Rand Paul, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie. Thanks for having me.
Tell us what you hope to achieve and what might come out of this debate.
Well, I like to mix it up, so my staff is all saying, oh, no, we need to be cautious. And I'm like, I like to mix it up. So I plan on getting into it with the other candidates.
All right.
All right.
Mix it up. I'm definitely watching tonight then, Senator Paul. When you say you want to mix it up, anybody in particular you want to mix it up with?
Why not mix it up on the ideas and issues of the day? It doesn't mean it has to be impolite, doesn't mean it has to be rude, but we need to mix it up because really this campaign and who becomes the president ought to be about ideas and who can best lead the country. And I don't think we should just sort of succumb to, oh, well, you can just say anything and, all of a sudden we're in some sort of reality TV show. I think there needs to be a substantive debate.
Well, it sounds like you're referring to Donald Trump when you say we're in some sort of reality TV show. I know you've attributed his rise in the poll to a temporary loss of sanity. What do you think this debate could clarify?
I think there are a lot of issues. I think we really have to determine what are the best ways to counteract our foes around the world. Do we really need to be involved in every civil war? And has it made us more safe? I think, frankly, that Hillary's excursion and Obama's excursion into Libya made us less safe and made ISIS stronger. I think arming the allies of ISIS made ISIS stronger. And so there really needs to be a debate about that because so many, in fact, many on both sides think that it's always a good idea to send arms to everyone. We're now talking about, with the Iran agreement to pacify Saudi Arabia, we need to send them more arms also. I just don't think, I think there needs to be a voice of reason and there needs to be somebody promoting a rational foreign policy. And I think sometimes both sides are a little bit overcrazed about intervention.
Senator, we want to get your response to the indictment that was announced yesterday, saying that your nephew-in-law is accused of paying off a state senator in Iowa, to really curry favor for your father's presidential campaign.
Well, for about 4 years, there have been these campaign finance regulatory rules that they've been going after. It's a little bit suspicious to me, though, that it just happens to take 4 years and then they decide to do something. The President Obama's administration decides to do something on the eve of a debate. So I think that's at least suspiciously timed. The stuff's complicated. The campaign finance rules are very complicated. There'll be lawyers and accountants involved in this, and they'll get it sorted out over time, I'm sure.
Let me go back to Nora's question about Donald Trump. What is it? What do you make of his rise in the polls? Is it, in your judgment, more rhetoric and bombast than it is policy and specific public positions?
Yes, and I think what he's tapped into, though, is that 90% of people are unhappy with Washington. In fact, that's why I ran for office. I'm a physician. I'd never been involved in politics, and I was able to beat an establishment politician because I ran against the machine. I still intend to do so because 90% of people are unhappy. I think we need term limits. I'd wash the whole place out. The whole place needs to be, clean, swept, and start over again. I've met almost every leader on the stage in Washington, and there is no monopoly of knowledge up there. We need new people, and one of the big proponents and one of the things I will propose is that we have term limits. I think we ought to send them all home, myself included.
Okay, but so why is Donald Trump tapped into this rather than you, according to the polls?
Well, he had a little bit of help. Y'all covered him with about $1 billion worth of news media. It's all your fault, Charlie.
Oh, I see.
It's all, So now the thing is that, for example, I've been talking about a flat tax where we eliminate the entire tax code to try to get American jobs to come home and American companies to come home. But I have really had a little trouble getting traction with getting the message out. And I don't blame anyone. I mean, the news is what the news is. But you have to admit that there's been an extraordinary amount of attention paid to one person. And I think anybody's numbers would rise with that amount of attention. So our job is to break through. Our job tonight is to step up, defend, and maybe demolish some other bad ideas that are out there, or point out that maybe there are some empty suits without ideas.
Who would that be?
Oh, well, it could be. There's 15 to choose from, so we'll see tonight who that is. But I think it is good to draw distinctions. And I'm a big believer, I don't believe in hurling insults, but I'm a big believer in, mixing it up. We ought to know the differences between the candidates, and let's see how much substance we can have come forward.
Thanks, Senator.
Senator Rand Paul, good luck tonight. We'll be
Thank you.
watching. Nice to see you.